It is the second leading cause of death for teenagers and young adults right now, between the ages of 15 and 25 in Indiana. Every year, tens of thousands of people of all ages take their life, leaving behind families hurting desperately. We want to help. We want to answer your questions. Maggie Owens is the Director of Education and Community Relations with the Indiana Center for Prevention of Youth Abuse and Suicide. Maggie, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Suicide Prevention Month, the perfect time to talk about it. In the break, we were talking a little bit about how in the news media, we don't report on suicides. We don't talk about it very often, typically, unless it's September. I know that we have an issue with how we talk about this, and I know that's part of what is so important to you. Do you think that is one of the main problems, is that we don't know how to talk about suicide, or we don't talk about it enough?
I definitely think that. I mean, I know for me growing up, we didn't talk about suicide in my household, and not that that was something wrong. It was just something that we didn't really discuss. And I think that what we're learning is that the more conversations parents can have with their children, or even adults can have with one another, the more conversations about suicide and what it is and the impact and the ripple effect, the greater the community can be prepared to support if and when a suicide happens within a family or a community system.
It feels like the reason we're not talking about it as much is because we think if we talk about it more, we have a fear that we will promote it and it will happen. Do you feel like that is the issue?
I think that definitely plays into it. I think that there has been this feeling that if you talk about suicide, you're planting the seed in anybody's mind to do it. And I think that the more and more we're learning is that people don't know how to have those conversations. And so that is one of the big things about Suicide Prevention Month, is providing people resources and information and how to proactively have conversations, the signs and symptoms to look for, what kind of risk factors, and even the protective factors that you can put in front of someone so that they are, thinking about how not to end their life.
I'm going to end with how folks can do that, because you have classes and things you do, but I also want to quickly ask you, do you have an opinion on why more kids are committing suicide? Because for me, as a mom that has teenagers, I want to know that to be able to help friends of theirs and others. Why are they doing this?
I don't have a great answer to the why. I think that research is showing that there's just so much pressure on kids. There's pressure to be the top of the class. There's pressure to be the best athlete. And I think that just that ongoing, that pressure that they don't know how to express that in a way, and they haven't been taught to be resilient, and so they're working through all of these different emotions. I mean, teenagers that are going through their own changes anyways, teenagers go through all of that. I just think that they're overwhelmed. They have the pressure of the world on their shoulders, and they are trying to figure out how best to not be a burden to their family. I mean, there's a lot of familial things that can happen. So I don't have a great answer for that, but I do think that one of the contributing factors that we're seeing more and more of is that pressure.
Well, Maggie, it's been great just the few minutes we have to talk. You're a light. Thank you for all that you do for our community. And we're going to link people to the website where they can take classes, or they can learn information about how to talk to their kids. So if you'd like more information on the Indiana Center for Prevention of Youth Abuse and Suicide, I'll link you to that website for those upcoming events. Maggie, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Fox59.com/Angela Answers. And if you or someone you know is in an emergency, you can always call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, 1-800-273-TALK. We do not want you to feel hopeless.